Well, hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to another Icon video. This one is somewhat of a rerun because this is a 1969 FJ40 that has been reborn as an old school Icon FJ43 with the enhanced wheelbase. Still a two-door. I did a video on this truck back when we originally delivered it, but the client went through some significant life changes and sent the FJ back to us for resale. And it's one of those rare moments where I actually have inventory. This truck is in stock, ready to rock, ready for immediate delivery. And that kind of rarely happens around these parts. And the FJ43 model is even rarer, so that's another rarity. So there you go. I really like this truck. It's actually something about the styling on this and the color palette and the decisions that the client made and a couple bonus things that he asked me to design for him as a one-off that make it even more unique than your usual Icon. So it's finished in the Rocky Mountain Gray finish, which is that's the original Icon color. But there are a lot of trim details that are quite unique to it, such as the gray option soft top instead of the signature black finish. And then being an old school, a lot of the exterior trim is powder coated in that nice gray finish. We have the old school wheels, of course. We have our beloved BF Goodrich old school, I guess they're old school, but the new versions. All-terrains. We did one-off mirror arms for this truck because the client wanted to make sure he had the flexibility to not just remove his soft top, but to also remove his half doors. So we did custom mounts with extended arms that put the mounting responsibility for those rear view mirrors on the body, not on the doors. And you wouldn't notice it unless I pointed it out, but it works out nice. We also did the fender mounted OEM NOS Toyota turn signal assemblies, which we detailed, disassembled, stripped, powder coated, and upgraded and put back together. The client managed to find, and man, they are hard to find, factory accessory fog lights, which are just super cool. In fact, it's my understanding, and I've got a pretty deep understanding of Land Cruiser history, I don't think they were ever offered in the North American market. I think they were available in the Japanese domestic market, maybe Australia, and certainly the Mid-East markets. Maybe you cruiser geeks in those countries who are following know. But anyway, they're just damn cool. I mean, the lighting is not that great, kind of outdated. So in the case of these, we updated the bulb to a higher output contemporary bulb. We, again, took those apart like the turn signal assemblies, powder coated and color matched the housings to kind of thematically flow with the rest of the vehicle a little bit more. But it's just kind of a neat little nostalgic bit. Another neat option that was never offered in the US, and it's my understanding was available in all other global markets, well, I know it was in Japan, Australia, and the Mideast, was the 83 and newer FJ40s had an optional dash tachometer that mounted to the left of the gauge cluster. I think it may have only been on the LX trim diesels. I'm not sure, correct me if I'm wrong. But anyway, kind of a neat design. So the client said, look, I definitely want an old school package, but I really dig the analog clock because he, like me, is a watch geek. Said, could you do an old school clock? So he said, hell yeah, because that original tachometer that I've always dug had a really cool design language that really paved the road for a logical clock. So we took the normal Dakota digital movement, which is controlled by the computer that controls the gauge cluster, and then I merely redesigned the bezel, machined it in 6061 billet, powder coated it in the signature old school trim color that you'll notice is seat hardware door, interior hardware, bumpers, exterior trim, console, cage, on and on and on. But the typography and the indices were strongly inspired by the original non-US market TAC. And that's a one and done. We've never done that on another icon. It's only on this one. Also, in the old school is designed to be more retro and more under the radar. So I think this really keeps that design language, but gives you a nifty clock. The headlights, wiper washer, fan, vent, and temp buttons are normal for old school. They're design inspired by the original 70s factory sort of rubbery, plasticky knobs. But then again, you know me and my love for plastic, I went ahead and machined those in aluminum and then enamel and filled them. So they look stock, but when you touch them, you know something's up. The audio system on this truck is quite nice. This, of course, has our NEX head unit. We have all of the normal functions and features that that system offers. This is the elevated audio, so it has a higher output and cleaner, crisper sound due to the K2 speaker upgrades from Focal. We have the Icon fire extinguisher. We did the interior in the Douglas Aircraft vinyl, so it's a 3-way flex vinyl. Has a very nice soft feel, like leather, but none of the maintenance worries. It's also marine rated. It's super durable, stays nice and cool. We did the unique sort of old school stock inspired upholstery pattern. And this client had us do the 4 side-facing fold-up jump seats in the rear, which are quite nice. And what I like about those is, yes, you can seat 6, which is cool, but also when they're folded up, or actually even when they're down, your rear cargo floor is completely open and smooth. The tuck and tumble bench seat, there's still seat belts and brackets and crap that are left, even if you tumble or remove that seat. So for like max utility versatility, this is definitely the way to go. It works out very, very nice. We also did the optional cargo map pockets in the cargo area, as well as the door map pockets. Run into LS3 with the 5-speed manual. I think there's hope for mankind. I'm seeing an increase in manual transmission orders, which is quite lovely. The Ace and Warner AX15 upgraded manual tranny is sending power through to the Atlas twin stick shift on the fly part-time 4-wheel drive 2-speed transfer case, which is then sending power through to the Dynatrac Dana 60 based high pinion rear axle, 44 based front, fine spline axles, and all other possible upgrades. And then on the outer ends of those axles, of course, you do have our beloved Icon sport brakes developed with our friends at Brembo. So 6-piston front cowlies, 4-piston in the rear, dedicated mechanical parking brake. And those are Hydro Boost Assist, not engine vacuum. It's quite nice. We have the amp research steps, which are quite helpful. And in the back, this client also did the somewhat rare option from us, which is the left-right 2-piece rear tailgate, which is quite lovely. And it's the fully insulated soft top. That's standard now. I don't even let people order the non-insulated one because this one is so much better. It's not even funny. We did the new school visors because client's into aircraft and he loved this one. The roof rack is the usual roof rack you'll see on the Icon old schools, except we added a custom side ladder that is redesigned to integrate with the old school style bumper configuration. The ladder and the rack are fully removable. You've got little stand-up plates, and you can unbolt the 16 bolts and remove the rack, and then refit block-off plates so it keeps it nice and tight and sealed up from moisture. But then you can remove the rack if you need to, because if you're in an urban environment, the rack's kind of a deal breaker when it comes to parking garages. It puts your total height at 7'9". So you're going to lose about, what, I think 7 or 8 inches if you take the rack off. Up to you. So there you go. It's pretty much my whole story, just for fun and perhaps the sake, cost of a little bit of redundancy. Might as well replay the original video we did back when we originally delivered this truck. But it's in absolutely top condition, 4,300 miles. As with any Icon that we represent when it's in the resale market, it comes back to Icon. We comb through it, make sure everything is exactly as it should be. And then in this case, I don't think there were any production changes because it really wasn't built that long ago. But we just make sure everything's cool, make sure it's matching current spec, and it is. You can find more details on our website, but these video and the corresponding video at the end of this from the original build should kind of tell you everything you're going to need to know and more. If you wanted to change the color, forget about it. It's not worth your money or our time. If you wanted to add, like, it doesn't have the locking diffs, if you wanted to add those or do some minor change ups, we're happy to do so. So yeah, that's all I got for you. We'll see you guys next week, and I really appreciate your time and your positive energy, and thank you for engaging with our brand. It really means a lot to us. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and we will see you next week. Ciao. Welcome back. It's true, I am still stuck with a cane. This truck's a manual. Seemed like a bad idea. So, in keeping with the theme of the last Icon video with that cool Bronco, today I have a special guest I'd like to introduce you to, Mr. Sabino Avaralo, who is the man behind the FJ. He runs the FJ build team and is responsible for a significant majority of the craftsmanship that you see us kicking out. So, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Yeah, well, yeah. And how long have we been working together now?
I've been working 6 years at Icon.
Just 6?
Yes.
I don't know why my brain thought it's longer. I guess the older I get, the slower time goes. And you tell people a little bit about your history with us and why you work with us and what you've done with the team as we've grown together.
So I started off fresh out of school, graduated UTI, and got hired with you guys, and it's been amazing ever since. Came on not knowing anything, actually. Had some mechanical background, and everything I've learned through you guys. My trainer, actually, Menfil, who was on the last video, helped me learn a lot of the things that I know now. And everything's just been moving slowly and surely, learning everything I can and working as hard as I can.
Sweet. Well, we appreciate it.
Thank you.
Key cat. All right, I guess that's enough about us. Let's blab a little bit about this nifty truck we're in today. So this is a 1969 FJ40 that has been restored and highly modified into FJ43 number 162. Now this truck is in the old school design package. So it is the very first, the original Icon color referred to as Rocky Mountain Gray. Being an old school, it's more of a retro vibe. So it's got the stock style front, early 1960s lighting, the steel housing, not the damn plastic ones, and the stock style front and rear bumper setup, as well as the vintage style tire carrier. All of those items are trimmed in the Icon. What's the name of the gray for our old school trim? I don't even remember the name. We designed the powder.
GR07.
Yeah, that's its code.
That's the code, but that's all we kept with.
So that finish can be found consistently through these trucks, through the old schools, in both the exterior bumpers and trim, and often, as in the case of this truck, in the wheels as well. We're running BF Goodrich tires. These are the all-terrains. We are running the LS3 6.2 fuel-injected aluminum V8 through to, fortunately, a AX15 5-speed manual transmission. stick, shift on the fly, part-time 4-wheel drive transfer case. That goes to 1310 U-joints, to custom drive shafts, to our purpose-built Dana-based axle assemblies. Specifically, we're running the ProRock High Pinion 44 in the front with all new internals and fine spline axles. Dana 60 ProRock in the rear. Of course, it is running the Brembo Icon Sport brake package, copious braking capabilities. We're running the tunable sport suspension, which is a nitrogen charged Fox Racing and Eibach components predominantly. You have tunable sway bars in the front and the rear. On the exterior of this truck, if you're very familiar with the brand, you'll notice a couple tweaks and modifications. Most interestingly is our client is a longtime FJ40 fan, and he had scored and has been hoarding these ever so nifty new old stock factory Land Cruiser fog lights. Personally, it's only the second pair I've ever laid eyes on. I don't think they were even offered to the American market. So anyway, he wanted them integrated. They don't work that great. They're kind of vintage tech, but they get the job done. Cool amber lens. But when we fit them on, like the glossy silver paint and all the chrome, we're like, it's a little bling bling. So Sabino, in fact, tore them apart, and we debated different palettes, and we created kind of more continuity with the overall truck by tweaking the color and then carefully reassembled them. So this dash is very straightforward, old school, with one exception. Client's like, I wish you did a clock in the old school, and we said, we can do that for you. So this is inspired by the original non-USA FJ40, BJ40 tachometer. So we took inspiration from that and how we shaped and designed the bezel, but we dead centered it in the dash, and then we kept it super retro and simple. So the font language is the same that you'll find on the main instrument panel. Otherwise, it's LED backlit, and it has the classic old school icon font at 6. I really like the design. I think that came out cool, and the client had some good ideas. It was fun to make that custom element for him. The door panels, the client did the optional inside door pockets. You'll find those in the cargo area as well. And then seating is in the classic old school trim in a really nice marine rated vinyl that's got a really soft tactile touch to it, but should be super durable and kind of feels like a leather, but I think there's going to be a lot less sensitivity.
Really soft, really nice, actually.
Yeah, it feels really good. In the back, we did the 4 classic jump seats, so this truck has a seating capacity of 6. Still plenty of room for cargo in that floor area, plus with the optional removable old school roof rack, should be able to haul a fair amount of goodies.
And actually, just so that you know, this one does have ARB lockers.
Oh, it does?
Stuffed underneath.
Oh, tricky Mickey.
You didn't want to see them, so you can feel them right underneath the collar.
Clever. I forgot about that. I remember that request.
Yeah,
so the client didn't want to see the lockers. He wanted to keep it as clean and classic of a dash aesthetic. So we took our usual mount, rotated it so that it is under dash. So if you're the owner of the truck and you know the order, the tactile effect's the same, but he just didn't want it in his face. And I think I'll shut up. So if you have any questions, of course, as always, feel free to call us, old school, 818-280-3333. The website is icon4x4.com, and you can use that same phrase to catch up with us on Facebook or Instagram. So there you go. Be kind to the planet. Be patient with everyone, including yourself. Be well. See you next time.